Stamp. 8 minutes in exactly. Okay, hi YouTube. My name's Bubbles Del Fuego. Or not exactly just YouTube. Twitch VOD, even if you feel like watching on that, but this is gonna be on YouTube. Um, Excuse me if I talk to chat sometimes during this, because I do that all the time. And I'm not gonna look at the webcam all the time either, this feels weird. But it's more like an introduction. Recently there has been a lot of people wanting to learn The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion in the No Out of Bounds category. And seeing as how I'm pretty much one of the 3 people that could be eligible, or I guess qualified. There's a hair in my mouth. Qualified to make the tutorial, and I recently got the world record recently, which isn't even that hard, and I'll get into more of that later. Well, it wasn't hard for me. But since I got it, I got a pretty good time. I know the route very well, and I can explain it to you guys, and I'm going to go through the game slowly. But before I do, I want to explain a few things. This is version of the Oblivion 1.0.228. This is the earliest version of the game, and you can get this even if you already purchased Oblivion before. So if you have Oblivion on the Steam version, if you have Inversion on the Steam version, there's a way to revert it, and if you have it for the disc version, there's a way to revert it as well because it'll automatically update. Or even if it doesn't, then you're just good to go. We need to run on version 1.0 because there is a trick where you duplicate with arrows, and you cannot do that on the current patch. And if you do the current patch version, you'll waste probably 45 seconds to a minute in real time, and about 30 to 40 seconds of game time. So yeah. And the difference between game time and real time is my timer right here that you see going. With my splits is gonna be only counting game time. And there's a component in Live Split, which is the timer that I'm using, that the Fun Cannon, another runner of this game, very good player, created to remove the loads out of this game. So it recognizes when there's a load screen, and it recognizes when you open up the menu, because there's a small amount of lag when that happens, so it gets rid of that lag. And it recognizes when you're waiting, like when the wait bar goes down, the 24-hour wait timer. Because those are all dependent, the speeds at which they all go are all dependent on PCs, and how fast everyone's PCs are. So this makes it fair, not like a pay-to-win kind of game. So don't worry, even if you got the worst computer, you can play this on low graphic settings, have like 5-hour-long loading screens, and you can still compete against everybody else. So don't worry about that. The problem is, this is best to run on PC, because you can maneuver around the menu and turn your character around and move around just in general a lot faster. And PC's most of the time just superior to consoles for speedrunning for that reason. Typically it's because of loading screens, but since you can remove it, and we remove loading screens for timing and leaderboard reasons, you can still remove them on console, but it's a bit of a hassle. So getting into the game now, in order to run it, like I said, you can have the Steam version. So let's say you have the Steam version like most people do, because they're not going to want to leave their house. So you got the Steam version, and then you're like, oh crap, this is current patch. I can't do anything. I can't like do that trick. I'm going to be like 45 seconds slower. So the thing is, there is a unpatcher that Yimmery Yams of the community made, and if you go to speedrun.com/oblivion, On the left, you can find a Resources tab, or is it a... yeah, I think it's the Resources tab. And there is a download link for the unpatching instructions. And the first step of the instructions after you fully download it is to insert your Oblivion disk or you can mount the Oblivion ISO, which is a file version or a digital copy of a disk. So if you don't have an Oblivion disk, like most people don't, like me, the Fun Cannon has an Oblivion disk. If you don't have an Oblivion disk, you can use an ISO, which I call an ISO. Some people say ISO. I don't know, some people say ISO. I don't care. In the root folder, or in the root of the folder that you download from the site, is a notepad file with a link to where to get the ISO for Oblivion. And if you don't know where it is, and you still need more help finding it, I guess PM me on Twitch or something, or ask any other runner. But it shouldn't be too hard to find. It's pretty simple. The site where you get it from is a little sketchy, and we try not to talk about it too much because it's not the most, I don't know. It's not the most looked up upon thing, I would say. Besides that, you mount the ISO, which you need a mounting program for. Or if you have Windows 8, it'll mount automatically. And then you can load Oblivion after you're done going through the instructions on how to revert it down to version 1.0.228. And to make sure that you're also fair against everybody else, make sure you're running at 60 frames per second. You can turn VSync on, but that's really, really inconsistent, and it makes the game crash and other stuff, and I wouldn't recommend it. So I use a program called DxTory, DxTory. You can download it, and it's free. Get the free trial version. It's got everything you need in it. You can use it to like record game footage and limit your frame cap and a bunch of other stuff. We use it to limit the game's frame rate to 60. And it's really easy to figure out how to do that within DxTory. And this isn't a DxTory tutorial, so go find one of those if you feel like you're confused there. So, as you see in the top left, that's the green number that changes every now and then, flickers in the menu, and you'll see it change within the game. That is to prove that I am running at 60 frames per second, which is needed to be on screen when you run your game, so people can actually tell. You can either have that on your screen, or there's a command where you can, I think it's TDL, where you can have other stuff in the top right-hand corner. I don't completely remember, but yeah, maybe I should have remembered that. Doesn't matter. Anywho. So once you've got the version 1.0 going, and with your mounted TDT, it's TDT, chat's still letting me know. Once you've got your frame rate maxed out at 60 FPS, so you do not move faster than other people within the game, and once you are playing on version 1.0 with either your mounted real hard copy disk or your ISO file, digital copy of the disk, then I believe you are ready to go. And you've got your timer with the load removal, but that's only for convenience sake. You can remove loads after if you feel like a masochist. So, now you just need to bind your keys, which is pretty simple. But we'll just go over the whole options before we do that, I guess. For gameplay, we're going to play on the easiest difficulty. I turn all of this on. I want to see my crosshair. I want all the subtitles in the game to help with cues, to know when to do things. I want it to autosave almost all the time in case you mess up. And difficulty up all the way down. This is all stuff that you can edit within the launcher, and when you... This doesn't matter. Oh, shit. I accidentally hit that. I don't want to hit that. Shit. Anyway, let's hope I don't have to close Oblivion. And these settings, there you go. What matters a lot is footstep volume, actually, because you'll need to listen for footsteps one point in the run. Mouse sensitivity. But for controls, it's basic. It's basically a preference. By default, the game has spacebar as a... Oh wait, yeah, I can return and just, I think the only thing that changed was the resolution settings. But these are fine now. Let's hope nothing gets fucked up. These are mostly preferences for controls. Activate is bound to spacebar by default, so you might want to move that to like E or something. And then a bunch of other stuff. I have block as C, but I don't use block on the keyboard, I use block on the mouse. Cast with left alt. That's anything else. You guys can cast whatever you want. These are just my keys. Shift I have as sneak, and that's really uncommon. Yep. Quick save, quick load is automatically bound to, I believe, either F9 or F8. Move it over to like F6 and it'll make things a lot easier for you. And you might want to put some keys that are further away from WASD closer to WASD. I think wait and change view are pretty far away by default. It's a good thing I didn't hit default there that time. So now we can get into it. To make your starting file, I'll show you what you'll need.
I will
skip that cutscene. Timer doesn't even start yet. Learning, yay. Alright, the fastest character to use is a female high elf. Cosmetics don't matter. You may be wondering, why female high elf? They are the tallest character. They have a 1.1, their speed is at 1.1. Because they're the tallest. I don't know why it's like that. There's some sort of ratio between how tall your character is and how fast they move naturally. You would imagine some sort of character like the wood elf would be the quickest. But no. And speed matters a lot. Movement's the biggest thing in this game. So, when you're done, I walk backwards a little bit, so before I make my save file right here, so I can trigger the dialogue of the guy in the cell behind me. So we're going to make a save file here, new save, and we'll know which save it is because the character's name is in the save if you look at it. Learning, yay. Level 1, Imperial Prison, Day 1. And this is when the timer starts. It starts when you hit continue here. And what we're immediately going to do is bind Heal Minor Wounds and Flare. And you can go to the 4 different tabs of your menu with F1, F2, F3, and F4. So F3 to go to the magic menu, and I hold down the 1 key. You can bind these to whatever you'd like. I hold down the 1 key for Heal Minor Wounds and 2 for Flare. And then I just get out immediately by either pressing F3 again or Tab
You know, my time's almost
And I want to turn auto run on. Not auto run, but always run. Because we're going to have that on for the entire run. To move at this speed all the time. Make sure your fists are down when it doesn't matter what you're doing. Well, like when you're not having to punch something because you move faster with your weapon sheath, and that includes your fist. You do not have to take off your armor because the starting clothes do not have an armor value and are very, very light, so they don't give any speed decrease. You want to stay up against this back wall with your fists out because you are actually going to use your fists immediately. Put your crosshair right here, and you're going to start wanting to aggro Glenroy here, I believe. I'm going to use the console to pause the game a lot because it's a lot easier than pressing escape, because sometimes you can't press escape when you want to. So, you want to hit him with a fireball here, so have flare out, and because you want to aggro him immediately, because when they aggro, they run faster. And when they run faster, they get to where they're supposed to be faster. And that's how you get past this whole tutorial, is getting the guards and the Emperor to run where they're supposed to be, so they can activate their triggers a little bit sooner. So,
Usual mix up with the watch.
Never mind. Get that gate open. Stand back.
right there, right before you lose control of your character, halfway through Reynolds saying the word open is when you cast the flare, so that's 1 out of 5 hits needed to aggro him. When you aggro him, it aggroes all of them, so don't worry.
Let me see.
Get through all of this dialogue, doesn't matter.
Please, sire, we must keep moving. Better not close this one. There's no way to open.
And 1, 2, 3, 4. Get past Reynolds. She can sometimes body block you there. It doesn't matter if you have your fists out or not, because this is all dependent on their speed, not yours. And you need your fists out right here so you can block them when they come apart. That's kind of funny. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" Reynolds needs to stand like right about here. The female is Reynolds, and that'll spawn the trigger for the first enemy. And then, after that enemy dies, she needs to stand somewhere else, and then 3 more enemies will spawn afterwards. Alright. And you can reduce the aggro from any of the enemies, but now that, so I yielded towards him by blocking and interacting with him, and now they're my friends again. And Reynolds is over here, and that's all that takes. So I'm going to go over here and kill the enemy that they spawned. And then 3 more spawned. And they will all die to 1 flashbolt.
Are you all right, sire?
And, or 1 flare, excuse me. A flare. That's all that matters right now. Now, you need to aggro these guys again so they move faster and trigger enemy spawns at a different point in the tutorial. So after this cave section coming up, you're going to have to aggro them again. And to aggro them faster, you can start the aggro right now by casting 1, 2, 3 fireballs. Just 1 fireball away from him getting aggroed. Sometimes it takes 5. It's virtually random. Put your fists away because now we're going to start walking. This wall can break any point after right now and 10 seconds from now. We got a pretty good break there. This body has the key, so we can get through the door. So you'll need that. You'll notice when I went into the body, I interacted with it, of course. I clicked take all because it's just faster than taking individually things that I need. And then I clicked E to leave the body. No, after you click take all, it leaves out. But we'll get into why. If you're taking one thing from a body, if you press E or tab, you just leave the body immediately instead of pressing exit. There's some notifications that are going to come up. Now we're just walking all the way through. But the things that were in that body that we needed the most were you got the key. There was also a potion in there. It doesn't matter which potion it is. We need the potion to sell to Shady Sam later on to get some money. And there is also 2 scrolls, a chameleon and a flashbolt scroll, which we can use for the glitch of scroll duplication. I'm looking down right here, and I make sure to have flare equipped, notification, to kill the rats because they can block your way. This is basically just memorizing where you need to go. Skills increase a lot in this game, but we never level up, because you have to actually sleep to level up. And sleeping is slow. That's basically it here. A little jump here to save a little bit of time. Alright, now we're meeting back up with the Emperor, Glenroy, and Boris. And you want to take your fists out, preferably after you leave the hole.
Protect the Emperor until help arrives.
Aggro him.
Push me, prisoner.
See, in this case it took 5 and not 4.
I'll let you live.
De-aggro him when he's standing in that spot right there at the bottom of the staircase. Kill this enemy right here as soon as you can, hopefully before they kill the enemy that's right on the other side of that door. So, I did. Whoops. And they're going to work on killing that guy now. Alright. Now, right there, when he's about to talk, that's when you want to hit him with a flare.
Damn it, it's that prisoner again.
And now there's 3 enemies here, which is really good, actually. Sometimes there's only 2, and the third one can be on the other, down there and be an idiot and not come up here. But this is ideal. The 3 enemies that occur in the next wave down there are supposed to be up here, but this is a sequence break that is caused by aggroing them. And their aggro, the enemy's aggro, is caused by our ally's aggro. So if we aggro our ally, it causes the enemies to get mad and come over here so we can knock them out sooner rather than later.
Push me, prisoner.
No, she is not with me.
There we go. So now we're going to talk to the Emperor and upgrade
She
our
must
stuff.
help us. They cannot.
Doesn't matter what he says. Out of all the constellations and signs, there's a bunch of stuff here. Makes sense to choose the steed. 20-point bonus to speed.
The signs.
Stop talking to him again. This is where we aggro this guy again. And the Emperor is automatically linked to him, so no matter where he goes, you'll follow him. In this chest, on the way down, we have lockpicks and arrows. So now we have everything that we need for duping. After that conversation with the Emperor, you will automatically be on Heal Minor Wounds, or whatever your keybind is for 1. That's some sort of bug, actually. So just move over to Flare. But make sure you have Flare out. If you're holding down block when you cast spells, you can cast them more rapidly. And we need to de-aggro Glenroy when he's right here. The Emperor when he's anywhere down here. And we need to make sure we talk to Boris before going into this next room. And you can't go into the next room until Glenroy stands here, faces the right direction, which is towards the door, and then starts walking.
I accept your
If you
surrender.
yield to the Emperor, it yields to all of them at the same time. If you yield to one of them, the Emperor can still sometimes be angry. This is a really inconsistent area, but I'm happy that this is going well for what you want in an ideal situation. And I'm going to want to get the
You may
torch
as well
from him, because if you don't grab it from him, it'll take forever. He's starting to walk towards the door, so that means we can go into the next area. Alright. So, now you immediately want to walk a little bit to the left so you're not body blocking him.
Hold up.
You can't really... You can... There is a really tough strat here. Strategy for those who are out of the loop. Where you can aggro him right now and lead him to that spot, but there's a really good chance that the next wave of enemies will spawn, and then he'll have to walk all the way back up here and then back down, or he just won't walk at all, or he'll just do a bunch of different things, but all the things that he'll end up doing are probably not going to be what you want him to do. So just push him, which is perfectly fine. The second fastest movement speed for them. And now we are going to get into duplicating, which... there are tutorials for this on, well, in the FAQ, which I also wrote, on speedrun.com/oblivion, speedrun.com/oblivion. I can't really stress that enough. A lot of people just don't know that that site exists. It's very useful stuff there. There's an FAQ there. Also, if you're ever in my chat, !Oblivion FAQ helps out. There's a spot that can tell you how to duplicate scrolls and why it works, and also how you can duplicate with arrows and why it works. So that's why we run on version 1.0, because we will be duplicating with arrows from the beginning. So,
Looks clear.
right over here,
We're almost through
get in your inventory, wait,
to the sewer.
punch, and then get in your inventory. And now we're doing like a physical fighting action, stuff like that. And you cannot like, you'll get a notification when you double click an arrow. You cannot change weapons while attacking. So it's like telling us, like, it's like storing a value, because it's supposed to think that we're like equipping arrows right now, but we're not really not supposed to. And while you're doing that, so you double click the arrows, and then you drop the potion of sorcery. This just duplicated 10 potions of sorcery, because that's how many arrows we had. And now we double click the arrows again. And now we drop either the chameleon or flashbolt scroll. For the sake of me knowing exactly how many I'll get, I will drop the flashbolt scroll, because that'll drop 10 flashbolts on the ground, and then when I dupe with the flashbolt and chameleon scroll after this, with scroll duping, I'll know exactly what I'll get. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 scrolls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's behind my fist, potions. We need all 10 potions, because it takes exactly 10 of these potions to sell to Shady Sam to buy 1 bottle of skooma, which we will be duplicating later. And we want to pick up all 10 of these scrolls as fast as we can, so we can make the scroll duplicating process faster and more consistent to how it always should be. So, alright, so now we have all 10 flashbolts and 10 bottles, and we're done with all the arrow duping in the run. Yay, okay. So that just saved like a bunch of time. So now we will dupe the chameleon scrolls with the flashbolt scrolls. So you got 10 flashbolts, 1 chameleon scroll. I think I'm doing this right. Double click, but it's like not actually binding. So double click the flashbolt and then, yeah, double click flashbolt and then drop the chameleon scroll. And you'll drop a bunch of these. You want to pick up all but 1, because if you have the same number, the duping process doesn't work. And then look up, because these scrolls are going to drop, but there will only be 2 at a time. So, double-click the higher number, drop the lower number, leave the menu, pick them both up, pause immediately after, double-click the bigger number, drop the smaller number, and then just keep doing it over and over. Alright. You'll know when you're about to stop when you're duping 160 flashbolts over to 320. And now this is a very comfortable number for both of these for when you come into skooma duplication later on. So when you're in this menu, and you're still hovering over flashbolt because that's what your cursor was last on, replace your flare binding with flashbolt. So now put flashbolt where your flare was. Double click the chameleon scroll because we're going to dupe lockpicks now. So you could dupe lockpicks with the flashbolt, but it'll save a lot of lag if you dupe it with chameleon scroll because you'll be duping a lot less and you don't need that many lockpicks. So double click the chameleon scroll, scroll on down, and this is all in the main storage area of your inventory. And then drop the lockpicks. It'll only say you dropped one, but you just dropped a lot of stacks of 7 lockpicks. So we can pick these up later on. But you want to aggro the Emperor right now because they're stopped walking. We're doing the duping process here because this is when they're all just walking in a straight line. And it's basically like an auto-scroller anyway. So, except for the little bit of pushing. So it's the best time to do it. And there's just enough time to do it here if you're fast enough. And if you're fast enough, you will just finish the duping process and the lockpicks right at this point. So you want to aggro the Emperor right now and bring him to his next location where he needs to stand. It takes 6 hits for the Emperor. He's a little tougher than the rest. He wants to stand right here. Oh, but he's being a little dick. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I wasn't expecting this all to go right, but he knows where to stand. But it doesn't matter. It was only like 4 or 5 seconds slower. Now that the Emperor's here, you've got a little bit of time before he talks to you and tells you, like, hey, take this amulet, I'm probably going to die right now. So, during that time, you're like, oh, I better go grab those lockpicks that I just duped, because I'm going to need those. So they're just going to be around here on the ground somewhere. Just get a few. That should be enough.
I can go no further.
And you just go through his dialogue. Make sure you've got those, oh, whoops. I just used Chameleon. That's kind of funny. Make sure you get that flashbolt out so you can kill that guy really quickly. You can talk to Boris here as soon as Glenroy dies, by the way. You can talk to Boris as soon as he stops running and he's next to the Emperor. Right before he crouches down even is pretty ideal, optimal. Get through his dialogue. Now, the best class to choose is the Nightblade, because of the speed bonus, once again. You're done.
I wasn't far off.
He either acts pleasantly surprised, or he acts like he's really confident in saying that he knew who you were going to choose. And then you leave him, and you're on your way to beat the game. So we have, in our inventory now, potions to sell, Chameleon and Flashbolt, and lots of them. It doesn't matter what they are. It matters that we have Flashbolt so we can deal damage in the run. That's going to be the way we hit people and kill them. But Chameleon is just going to be a way to help us duplicate Skooma again. And we've got our lockpicks, which at least 70 is a confident number, because we're going to be auto-attempting a couple locks in the run. So there we go. I didn't change. It looks the same to me, Devil. So now we can leave. Go through the sewers and leave. We're still pretty slow right now. That'll change pretty soon. You can jump on this barrel to save a little bit of time. You want to make sure that you never drop your fatigue or your health too much when you're in this tutorial sewer area, or else you will get a notification saying that you're low on health or you're low on stamina. But now you can like lower your health and stamina and it won't matter after you leave the sewers. So if you leave, that's where I split. It doesn't matter where you split. That's just a very common area for people to split. Go straight, press F4 to come to the map layout area. And fast travel to the Chestnut Handy Stables. Now, for map fast traveling, you can either move your cursor over to the yes button, but that would take a little bit of time here. So, if you're trying to save like 0.2 seconds every time you fast travel or something, What a lot of us do is press up on the arrow keys and then enter immediately after. So it's just a quick, like, do-do. Gonna get a notification saying that we have, like, some quests to do. Like, hey, that's how you do quests. You can either walk there, yeah, it's another notification, just leave it. We're not gonna worry about that. Come all our way to our favorite drug dealer friend, Shady Sam. And this is where we sell our potions.
You need something? Have a
Go
look
to
at my
the
wares.
haggle.
I'm sure there's something to
Or
suit
not the,
you.
well, no, not the haggle. Come to the inventory area. Go to sell the 10 potions. 150 gold. And then you can just scroll down in his main bar here. Like, one good fluid scroll will bring you right near the skooma. If you're starting at the top, just right there. Every time. Buy it.
An excellent deal.
You need to buy skooma. You can't duplicate stolen skooma. You can't duplicate stolen items in general. So there. Exit. You're done. And go on up to Wayne Priory. And now we're going to duplicate skooma and immediately start moving fast. So, we go back in the menu. I use F2 to go into the menu here, so I'm in this tab. Because F1, F2, F3, F4. F2 when you're in here. We want to duplicate a lot of skooma on the ground, but not a high number. Like, we want to get about 30. We can either get 30 by making a lot of lag. This is kind of just like the lockpick method. But we want to use the chameleon scroll right here on the skooma to drop it. So we make a lot on the ground, but we don't lag the game too much. After you have 30 skooma, by counting to 30, when you pick it up, you move forward a little bit so you know which pile of skooma is the next one. And you duplicate this batch with the flash bolts. Double-click the flash bolt, drop the skooma. Pick up about 2/3 of the pile, or sometimes as much as you want. 300 is a really good number. And now we just duplicate. You have to make sure that number is less than 319, though, or whatever you have. You have to make sure that number is less than this number. So, double-click the flash bolt and drop it again. And pick up those bottles, and now you have plenty for the whole run. Typically, if you never mess up on using skooma, having about 520 skooma is good. And you don't have to be worried about anything. Maybe even 500. But having 600 for being a new player is a good number to start at. Maybe even 650 if you feel like you need to do that. If you want to dupe more, just drop about 500 skooma and then dupe it again, and then pick them all up, and you'll have like 1,000 skooma or something. So now we need to bind the skooma to a hotkey to make it easier to go into. Bind it there. That sounds easy. And we're just going to be on our way to doing the quest line. When you use skooma, you can use 5 from your hotkey at a time. And then when they wear out, you can use 5 again. When they wear out, you can use 5 again. Or you can bypass that limit by using 4 in your hotkey, and then going into your inventory, and then using 4 later on. So you have a total of 8 skooma. So when we travel long distances, and we are definitely going to use all of the skooma, we use 8 skooma at once. But when we travel short distances, like I'm going to do right here, we only use 5 skooma. And there's a little notification you get here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the hotkey. And we're just going to talk to Joffrey at Wayne Priory here. Oh, this guy's going to talk to me.
Excuse me.
Sometimes you get stuck on that staircase. It's okay. You want to avoid him.
I'm Brother Joffrey.
This
What
is
do you
where,
want?
like, you might notice when you go through dialogue, you have to click pretty quickly. It's just something you'll get, like, good at eventually.
Waste no time.
And leave.
Find Martin.
Pause the game, and this is where a newly discovered glitch is going to start immediately. Because now that we have started the Oblivion Gates quest lines by giving him the amulet, or talking to him about the amulet, and and leaving, we need to go to Kvatch and save Martin. But we are also going to go to Miskarkand on the way there to get a stone to save some time, because you can get that stone. You can get a stone like a Wayland stone whenever you want, but it's fastest to get it from Miskarkand at this point. So, and after you go to Miskarkand, which we will be in a bit, we will have to backtrack all the way through once we're done, and then leave, and then fast travel back here afterwards, and then come inside. But instead of that, here's a new glitch called, you can call it wrong warping, save warping, load warping. Load warping makes the most sense. Where you go through a door, and as you go through it, you pause the game, and you load a save file of a different character, and then when you go through that door, the character that you loaded is the one that goes through the door. So if we make a save file right here, make a fresh new save, and go on our merry way, later on when we load up that save, go through the Wayland Priory door, and load the quick save that we get when we get the Stone of Miskarkand. That way we can bring our Miskarkand character there immediately without having to backtrack. It'll make more sense later, but for now, just know that when you leave Wayland Priory, make a save file right there. Going on to Kvatch now. Gotta make sure that you have skooma active when you fast travel, because you cannot fast travel when you're over encumbered. Use 4 from the menu, and 4 from your hotkey. And we're immediately going to go up this hill and straight into the Oblivion Gate. We're going to kill a little scamp on the outside first, though. So when we're on the outside, we can talk to our friend over here without being interrupted. After every use of the flashbolt, because they're scrolls, you do need to click whatever your bind was again. Do a couple jumps to skip most of the world that you're in. Make sure that you have good skooma when you're doing them, though. If you're quick enough, you can get both of those jumps, or even one of them, in good time. I can't really explain where I'm going, but just pay attention, I guess. And then practice this yourself. It's just memorizing locations. I can't really give a tutorial on that. Like, I'm not going to say right turn, left turn. Now, here's like the first skooma jump of the game, or mostly momentum jumps, or I guess prop boosting, or collision ricochets, or whatever you want to call them. We're going to move forward right here, and we're going to bounce off this little lip that's in front of our feet. And my setup is to stand right about where I am and then look at this little line at the side of the building. So I'm going to make a quick save and then do it. And then you want to get into this door. That skips getting a key and having to come through a different part of this building. And this is where you would normally use the key, but since we duplicated a lot of lockpicks, you can just spam auto attempt on the lock. If you're having trouble finding your cursor, I scoop it around the left side of my screen and I come back up. That makes it appear easily around auto attempt, and then you can spam the key. And you'll have enough by the end of the run, unless you get extremely bad luck. And if you do, you can just load a save. And now we need to get to that sigil up there. And you can either walk up the steps right here and get up to the sigil, or you can do another skooma jump where you ricochet your body off one of these. And that's what I normally do. It's pretty advanced. Running up the steps normally is not hard. You just go over here, turn around, go up again, or you can go over there and go up those steps. But all you have to do is just get to that orb up there as fast as you can. So I set this up like this. Hopefully I can get it at least once. I'm not gonna... I need to get it, so I'm just gonna... For the sake of this, so they're not annoying. Because I have to, like, set this up and talk to you guys. Come in here, stand right there, and then... There you go. You can also directly go straight to the orb, but it's a little harder. And drop down halfway, and then drop down again, and that'll skip the cutscene of the fiery orb area. Alright, and that was a split, by the way, during that loading screen, if you care to split there. Now I'm going to talk to our friend.
Close the... Are you...
Savly and Mattias. Or Civilian. Tell him that we're ready to go, and now we're going to go save Martin. Little notification window right here. Gotta clear out all the enemies. That went okay. Talk to the one without a helmet. That's a good way to know who's who. And then come in here and talk to Martin. And this is one of those sequences where we're not going to need all 8 skooma for one movement part. Tell him that we're here to rescue him. And then fast travel, as soon as you get out of there, your way to the Grateful Pass stables, because that is the closest location to Miskarkin, which is right about here. It's not too different from right here. It's like 15 seconds faster to fast travel from here to there. I think we did time it. So yeah. But it's faster to just go to the Grateful Pass stables and then head west. Four from there, 4 from the menu. Just keep heading this way. Don't think about it too much. Don't take too many sharp turns. Just try not to move your mouse around too much unless you're trying to go around a rock. Just look at your compass if you want to know where to go. A lot of people can get lost in these kinds of sections, but keep heading like southwest-west until you see like a little ruin sign on your map. There it is, right on the mini-map, or the compass. And you don't have to worry about killing these enemies to de-aggro them, because we're going to be warping when we're inside of here, like I explained earlier. But I'll get into more of it when we get the stone. Enter the building. I did that a little quick, hopefully you guys can see where that was. When you're descending staircases like that, take your time, because we're going really fast right now. And the biggest problem right now in the run is fall damage. And if you move way too fast, down a staircase, you can get really strong fall damage. And you can take a lot of damage. You can sometimes even kill yourself from one fall like that. So just take your time when you're going down staircases. So you'll get to know after you do a couple runs which staircases are more evil than others. I'm gonna reload the autosave from when I got in here because that guy poisoned me and I would have never stood still long enough. So come in here. Be careful on the staircase. If you get poisoned like that from that kind of guy, it affects your statuses, and it also destroys the glitch that lets you use 4 from your hotkey and 4 from your inventory, so you can only use 4 skooma at once. So come down here and press this button just to proceed through the maze. And instead of walking back through and coming back up there like we're supposed to, you can do another skooma jump where you go forward and ricochet off the flames. Kamul, I made you a mod. Do what you gotta do. And you go forward, ricochet off the fireplace flames. It's actually pretty simple. You can make a quick save here if you need to. And you're just trying to get up there. It's self-explanatory. It's tricky to miss. I don't really make a quick save because I don't miss it too often. If you get too much height, you can like stop yourself on a chandelier. Just keep going through. I can't really tell you where to go, just have to watch and pay attention. Hit that switch so this door opens up. We're just trying to get a stone at the end of this place as fast as we can. This staircase is pretty deadly. Get the stone, make a quick save, pause your game. Now that we got the stone, we can get out. But we get out by warping our character like I explained. So make that save that you made earlier, here at Wayne Priory, right when you left the building. And enter and pause your game at about the same time. So you pause the game and you hear the door creaking sound. And then you just load your quick save that you just made when you were inside the building. And the character with the stone will be the character that comes in here. And you'll also be at this point in the storyline. You need to come up here to the chest, look inside of it, leave the chest, so you can figure out that something was stolen. Come over here to me to save Joffrey. I missed a split, by the way. I would have split on the loading screen after leaving Muskarkand. Doesn't matter, though. I'm just letting you know with the timer. And this is where we're gonna save Joffrey, so kill these guys with him.
Be glad you will not live to see.
It shows I do not fear death.
Make sure you're out of his way. He's got to stand right there when he talks to you.
You're back. We should get moving.
If he doesn't stand right there, he can take a little while before actually fast traveling when you go to Cloud Ruler Temple, which is next. That may be every enemy. It is. We're going to fast travel before we run out of skooma in an ideal situation. Come on up to Cloud Ruler Temple. Hello, Zamiel. And you can see that they both came with us. When Martin is close enough to the doors will open, and then you can open them yourself. And when they start to open, that's immediately when we will skip this cutscene of Cloud Ruler Temple, where typically we will have to stand still and talk to the other AI, or the NPCs, rather. But during this cutscene, we can skip it by leaving and coming back. All we have to do is fast travel somewhere else and then fast travel back. So you can skip it by doing that, and we might as well save a little bit of time. And do something while we leave. So what we do while we're gone is quickly go get the Umbra. Because later on in the main quest we will need a Daedric weapon. Or a Daedric item.
Don't be the last to read today.
To actually progress in the story. And the quickest one to get is the Mask of Clavicus Vile by getting the Umbra and then trading in the Umbra. Whoops, I don't want that. Ugh. Kill these enemies on the outside so you can fast travel when you leave this building and you're over there near the Shrine of Clavicus Vile. Come up to the door after you get your skooma refilled. Make a hard save here, because this is where you'll also do some more warping. Enter the building, and go and kill Umbra to get your Umbra. The starting staircases in this place are the worst, so do not charge them. But the next one's pretty delicate, and you can be okay with it. Kill her, make sure she doesn't kill you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the Umbra, make a quick save. Load the save that you had on the outside of the building. It doesn't work. This doesn't work if you're on the inside and try to come out, because the game will crash. So this is why we do it from the outside. And now, enter the building and pause at the same time. It didn't work there, which is good, because I wanted to explain this. If you mess up the trick right there, you can just reload the save when you're outside the building. Going back through the door doesn't work, because you need it. A blink doesn't help. You need different you need a new zone or a new cell in the game to load. So make sure that you're timing this correctly. Like that. Now we're going to load the quick save after collecting the Umbra. And the character that has the Umbra is right in the beginning of the... Oh! The game can crash there, which is perfectly fine. And it also demonstrates how, when your game crashes, the timer is paused. So you can actually crash the game and start back from where you were, without having to worry about all that too much. But that is the highest crash location spot of the run. And it's good that it's actually in the tutorial, to be honest, because now we can show what it looks like when that happens. So we need to do the glitch again. But it's not even that hard. So get your character on the outside of the building. Pause and enter at the same time. Load the quick save. Hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Okay, good. Now exit. And now there's cut out all the backtracking. Through the dungeon. And now we're just going to walk west, or run, to the Shrine of Clavicus file.
You approach them.
Talk to the cat about the Shrine of Clavicus file, and then what kind of
There
business.
are many
And then you'll get a quest. You'll eventually get a notification saying that you retrieved the Umbra Sword. Which, as long as you get the sword before doing the quest, you sequence break the quest in the way you're not supposed to. So, it's kind of like speedrunning this quest line in a way. And now that we have it, we can get the Mask of Clavicus file from the shrine, which we can either do by...
Do not test his patience.
By talking to him directly, or if we talk to the dog's part of the body, preferably the butt. Yeah. You can skip the 25 seconds of dialogue that happens during this cutscene, and just give the sword to him directly. And after you give him the sword, he gives you the Mask of Clavicus file, and now you have a legitimate Daedric item, and you can give it to Martin later on in the storyline. And now we're going to come back to Cloudriller Temple, and they are all done with their cutscene. And that would be a split, I guess. Moving on up.
Not much of a...
Talk to Martin because he automatically talks to you. You can talk to Joffrey right now, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to have to come back to Cloudriller Temple many, many times. So, to make it easier on ourselves,
Do you have a...
we're going to make a hard save right here so we can just warp here later on with the same trick that we've been doing. Leave the building. Now you want to
You
tell
have proven-
Joffrey
It is my...
that you want to join the Blades. Make sure you talk to him about the Amulet of Kings. So the next quest actually happens, Path of Dawn. And this is the very long quest where we just need to get the Mysterium Xarxes and then come back to Cloudriller Temple. But there's a lot of stuff that you gotta do in between. So now that you've had your save up there, warping back is easier than ever. And just, if you're confused about where to go for this whole quest line, Path of Dawn, follow the quest marker, it really helps. So, Elven Gardens District is the first place that we need to go. And we need to either steal a book off a body of a guy in a store, or you can kill the guy and then loot his body to get the book. But no matter what you do, you have to make sure you're not seen when you do it. So when you go inside the store, which is right here, you can either run over to this corner behind this guy so he doesn't see you. You can either go around the corner, sneak, slowly creep your way over here and pickpocket the book out of him, which is the really safe route. or you can run around the corner, sneak, and then have like the opportunity to shoot 2 flash bolts and try to hit him. And that sounds like it's easy, but his body has like really low hit detection. So I'm just going to do the sneaking method for you guys. So over here. And when the thing dims down, that means you're sneaking and no one sees you. Give it a couple shots until you get that notification. He is now suddenly a bad guy.
Good work.
And you need to talk to Boris on your way out.
I hope you learned.
So that's the first book in this big librarian quest line. Head on over to see Tarmina, because that's what he tells you to do. She's not here right now, so we need to wait. And when you start these runs, you need to make sure your wait timer is always on 1 hour. Because if you set it to like 24 hours, and then you restart a new game, and try to do another attempt at speedrunning this, it'll still be at 24 hours, and that'll be like an unfair advantage. So you want to make sure your timer is always going to be at 1 hour before you start a new run. So if it is at 24 hours when you do start a new run and you just don't feel like resetting, it's perfectly fine with us if you just go do this real quick, drag it down and bring it back up again. Or if you like chop it all the way down, like chop it down and bring it back up. It doesn't matter really. Just gotta make sure that we're all fair. That's part of the rules. So now that we're waiting, we want to wait until like 8 a.m. Let's just say that time. That time will be good. 8:13 is a really good time right now, because if we wait until 8:13 a.m., the bookstore will be open, and that's where we need to go next. So wait until 8 a.m. Make sure you use a skooma immediately when you're done with this. So when you're done talking to her, like, yeah. Whoops. Okay, I'm just gonna wait again. Make sure you use a skooma as soon as you're done waiting here. So right when you're done talking to her, then you can walk out of the store. Or, I mean, out of the building. So I drank and then I talked to her. Mythic Dawn. Get through her dialogue. Make sure you don't buy or persuade.
It was so.
Leave. And go up to the market district, because now you're going to the bookstore, which we timed to make sure it would be open at this hour. Talk to him about the Mysterium Xerxes, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude." Or, "Get the fudge out, family-friendly tutorial." And if you leave and come back immediately, this guy who you need to talk to will be here. And I believe it auto-saved when I came in here, so I can demonstrate something. If you leave and come back right after talking about the book, he'll appear there. And you need to just talk to this guy as soon as possible. And this is the fastest way to talk to him, because he'll appear here immediately. You have to talk to him after he's done talking to him, or after he's started talking to him. So you can either wait for him to stand right there, which is his automatic spot, or you can push him into him. So what we like to do is push him into him so he talks to him a little bit sooner. Exhaust all of his dialogue. And now we have to meet up with Boris in the sewers. But we know exactly where he's going to be. So we're just going to go there, and then we're going to wait for him to appear where we're standing. And the sewers entrance is in the Elven Gardens district. That's where I split. This is another tight maneuvering area. If you don't pull that lever and you just come here, Boris just gets stuck there forever. There's a little scuba jump you could do here. It's really inconsistent, but it's really cool, and that's what it looks like. Otherwise, you would come around this way, come up the stairs. Uh-oh. You would come up the stairs, and I got poisoned, doesn't matter. Come up the stairs and walk this way and go into the door. Over here. Thank you, Miss Anthrop, for the host. Okay, this is another glitch in the game. That's another. If you pause the game and then reload immediately after, it'll reduce the aggro of the enemies that are in the previous cells before you. And by cell, I don't mean like a prison cell or something. I mean like the loading zone or dungeon or part of the cave or whatever was before the door you were just in. So, quick save, reload that quick save, and now we can wait. And you can normally not wait or fast travel when enemies are aggroed on you, but because we did that, now we can wait. And I'm going to wait like 1 hour for our friend to appear.
You're not easy to get hold
I
of.
waited 1 hour because I want him to appear at around like the 10 hours time slot. And not the 11 hour. Because we need to time something later on that's going to happen at exactly noon, and it'll be better if we time this all right here, right now. Talk to him about the Mythic Dawn meeting. Leave.
Follow.
Use some skooma
All right.
while he's walking over there just to save some time. Make sure that you meet the sponsor, because you're about to meet this guy and act like you're not that much of a big deal. Sit in this chair. Make sure you got your flashbolt open, because this conversation is going to be quick. Listen for the footsteps so you know when to stand up. And you can kill him immediately. Take his book. Leave the inventory with E, not exit. I almost hit exit. Quick save your game, so we don't have to backtrack all the way through. Load up any save file that's on the outside of the world. The one that we already have set is this one that was outside of the Umbra. So load this one up. Start the load warp trick by entering and pausing at the same time. Load the quick save that you just made, so the character with the book is the one that's on the other side of the store. Then leave. Then fast travel over to the Imperial City Palace, because we need to interact with a shrine. And it takes about 2 hours in-game time for us to fast travel there. And it should line us up with this wall, but it didn't. Well, it takes about 1 hour in-game time, excuse me. But if I came here, if I waited until 11, there was a really good chance that it would have been past 12:30. So this shrine right here is activated between 11:47 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. So if you get here a little early, hopefully you get here before 11:30. If you get here after 11:30, you have to wait 17 in-game time minutes, which is like almost a full minute of real time. But you want to make sure you wait like 1 hour now. So it's that time. Interact with that, and then your next quest marker is here, the Lake Arius Caverns. And the fastest way to get there is to fast travel to the Black Waterside Stables, and then just go north. Now we're coming our way up again. We're not really going to need to heal or anything, so I just got Flash Bolt out. Come up the hill, don't need to go around it. Trying to take fall damage when you come down this hill because it's really easy to. Kill that guy. He's got the key that you need. And you don't need to kill anyone else. Just keep on going. We're just getting the book and then getting out.
Guess it was nothing.
Cannot escape them.
Now you can jump straight to the book, which is what I'm going to attempt to do here.
What's that?
You can't escape the monsters.
You can see that small window of timing where you can grab it. Take it, get out. And that's the final boss of the game, Makar Cameron over there. But you need him to escape. So you need to leave the room, get this notification saying he escaped to his realm of paradise. So we'll be seeing him later on. But if you don't if you don't let him escape, he won't be in paradise later on. So it'll break the game and make it so you can't complete it. And you'll need to come back here and have him warp. So make sure you do that. So make sure you leave the room, and you'll get this update saying that he left. Quick save your game. Reload the Cloud Ruler Temple one, because that's where we're going to go now, because we finally have the Mysterium Xerxes, and we're going to give it to Martin.
Of course.
And since we're in this area, where Martin normally is,
Thinking about
Please, Blade. Say
about
what you
the
will,
Emperor.
but let us forego
We failed.
this. Whole...
he needs to actually be in his chair room, so
Good evening,
Farewell,
man.
my friend.
We're all on edge. And
that's why we make the save file here.
But we can't
So we're
get
going
into-
to enter the room and pause it at the same time. Load our quick save that we just made. And we are on the other side of the door. In the save file that has the book. Now we leave the room. Come back in. Martin will be sitting in his chair.
Ah,
These
In the meantime,
Martin and
we should
Joffrey
speak to
have
Joffrey.
really weird pathing in this area, and there's some ways to manipulate it, and some ways we just memorize where they are. And depending on what the in-game time is, it can really affect the whole thing. So that's most of the problem right now.
I hope to have it.
Talk to Martin, and then we got to talk to Joffrey because he's got some spies that we need to take care of.
I hope
He'll
Martin
probably be
knows what he's
outside
doing with
around
that
this
evil
area
book.
most of the time. About
Ah,
spies,
yeah.
I will find these spies. Leave. And the spies are typically outside the Brumagate, but there's also a building that they like to be in at a certain hour, and we can get both of them at the same time if we go there. So we need to wait until, like, essentially any time between, like 9 or 10 a.m., like 8 or 9 a.m. is a really good time. I like to go for about 9 a.m., so I'm going to go for 9:17 a.m. And that's when they should both be in their building. Or in their home. Now make sure you got Flashbolt out, and when you get close to the door, pull out your fists. And we don't need to worry about sneaking or not when you're lockpicking this, because when we go in there, we're going to quickly kill both the spies, we're going to go in the basement, take the scroll, and then we're going to warp out like we have before. And as long as we warp out and we're not caught killing the spies, then the guards will not care if we're sneaking or not. So once again, just auto-attempt to lock. The first spy that's standing up most of the time is going to take a flashbolt and then a punch. Oh, trying to juke me. And then go into the basement. You can also get the key off that body and get the lock there if you really like your lockpicks, but it doesn't matter. Get the scroll, take it, quick save, and then we go back to Cloud Ruler Temple once again. Enter the door and pause at the same time. Load the quick save. And here I am.
Welcome aboard.
And ideally, Martin and Joffrey will be in the same room, but you need to talk to Joffrey first in this situation and tell him that you helped the spies. And then you're like, what else can I do to help? So we gotta look for Martin. Typically just follow the quest marker and, I mean, we were looking for Joffrey. Follow the quest marker and you'll find Joffrey. There he is.
What have you learned?
Okay.
I will send word to the captain.
Talk to Martin now.
I've decided.
Here's where we give him the Daedric artifact, the Mask of Clavicus vial. And we talk to Joffrey again. and now we gotta help him with Bird. See, this is the wizardry that I'm talking about. He was right there, and now he's way over there. You gotta deal with this sometimes. You gotta learn to adapt. Get to know Cloudriller Temple.
Cap
So now we're gonna work on the second Oblivion game with Bird, which is right over here in the Wildlife Stables. And Bird's Oblivion Gate is a little weird. He needs to, well... Whoops.
Thanks
Bird's
for
the one
coming.
without the helmet. Tell him that we're ready to go. And if you're quick enough, you can enter this building over here before your skooma runs out by doing a little skooma jump over the lava, riding up the hill, holding this direction, coming on up, and then entering the building. Now, this is like an escort mission, kind of. We need to escort Bird, at least just Bird, all the way to the sigil. And it can be really annoying and inconsistent sometimes, but most of the time it almost feels like luck, but it's pretty much Bird's fault, depending on what he feels like doing. Because he never always does the same thing. So yeah. He's way at the beginning of the area, and we need him to be right here. So we can get him to be right here if we just keep on leaving and coming back. And there he is. Sometimes it takes like 3 or 4 tries. But yeah, him and his squad will come up here pretty soon. And they will not follow you if they're like in the middle of a battle with another guy. But sometimes they will. It depends on the enemy mostly. So typically, and I hope this goes well for the sake of the tutorial, I kill that guy just to be safe.
Stay sharp.
You can know if they're there if they appear really quickly. Kill that guy just to be safe because he's like attacking us. That guy doesn't matter. Kill both of these guys in this room.
I've got that one.
Oh, if they're in the mid-fight, kill that scamp. He can be a real problem. You want to make sure they're not fighting anybody when you go into the next areas. Go into this door, and immediately come to this door before they even have a chance to fight this guy over here. This guy normally has a key, but instead of killing him, you can just go to the lock. And auto-attempt it, of course. And when you have that notification, that means they're in here and they're safe. Skooma jump your way up. Sometimes if you don't make it, that's fine. Just go around, go up the stairs. Only a little bit slower. Only matters if you're like trying to get world record or something. Drop down halfway, drop down again, skip that cutscene. You need Bird to come. That's the worst part about that Oblivion Gate. It can really end a lot of runs. You talk to Bird, and then you're allowed to continue the main quest line over to Cloudriller Temple. Instead of going there like this, though, I always forget because this glitch is actually new. You quick save, and then you warp up there. It's a little bit faster. Enter it and pause at the same time. Load the quick save.
I figured out.
Check him out on his moonwalking chair. You talk to Martin once and then Jeffrey twice. When you actually bring over, like, it's hard to explain, kind of. When you wrong warp or load warp, like I'm doing a couple times in this run, I just noticed a few of the blades are missing. That's pretty cool. It's like they needed to use some of the blades for the storyline. Anyway. When you warp over, environmental effects come with you. So you can notice how it's like really bright out. That's because it thinks there's sunlight in here. When it should be like lit by the flames, but it's not. Just a little tidbit, I guess.
Good work.
Now you talk to Joffrey twice. You talk to him about like how can I help, and since you already talked to Martin, you talk to him about the armor of Tiber Septim, which Martin needs. And then he tells you to go to Sanctor Tor because that's where the armor is. So, guess where we're going next? Sancrator. So now that you got skooma and you're on the outside of the building, we're gonna go to Sancrator, which is right here. We have it on the map. We have to go to, we like are told to go to other places as well and like close Oblivion gates and keep saving the world. You see, like, we have multiple quest markers down here. But yeah, we're just gonna go to Sancrator. And the fastest way to get there is to go from the Coral North Gate and just run straight there. There's only a little bit of terrain that we have to go through to get there. Like, we have to go this way and get around these hills, and then we're there. We could go this way, but there's a lot of mountains right here. So yeah. Do a 180 and leave the town. Make your way there. It's directly north-northeast, so just keep going in between north-northeast on your compass if you feel like you need to know where to go based on that. It's kind of easy to get lost. I have a feel for how far I have to go. If you get lost, there's no shame, just check your map. But right about here is when I want to go up the hill to my left. And swiggity my way on in to Sancrator. Ignore every enemy on the way in. You're just getting the book and getting out. That was pretty cool. That shouldn't happen all the time, but I'll be happy every time it does. Sometimes you can get random skooma jumps like that. And I'm not going to tell you how to navigate through this area. I just hopefully you can watch and memorize it. So we have to kill 4 enemies in this area, and they turn into ghosts of their former selves. They are undead blade members. Maybe that's where the blade swords were. The ones that were hanging on the wall. Anyway. Before I enter this door, actually. When you're coming down, you kill the first enemy, you'll encounter this doorway. Make a hard save here, so you can warp to this spot later on. So you can cut back a little bit of backtracking in this area. Enter it, and come down the second tunnel to get the second Blades member. And there's some RNG on the second, and kill that guy, get the key, leave, open up the door. There's a little bit of RNG on the second and third Blades members that you have to kill in this area. But it's not always the worst. The first one doesn't matter. Whoops. But the third one can matter a bit. Make sure you get the notification saying that he's dead. Quick save your game. Load the one that was right in front of that door so you don't have to walk all the way back. Interact with it and pause at the same time so you can warp your quick save file over. And now you're back here. And you don't have to run all the way back. And now we're on our way to the third one, which hopefully we can get from the balcony up here, but if not, we have to jump all the way down. Oh, okay, this is what happens if we jump all the way down. Typically we can shoot him while we're up there and get a straight shot, but if you miss, this is the way you backtrack back up, which I guess is good that I'm showing. Pretty simple, actually. And this is the way we came in. Just want to take this left right here to go to the next guy. And you can warp out after killing this guy to the one we did earlier, but it's virtually the same speed. Come on down to this area, because we've gotten all 4 and this is the final spot. quick save and reload to reduce the enemy aggro. Whoops. And wait 3 hours. And now wait. And then grab the armor. Just give it a little bit of time so that wall goes away. Quick save your game after getting the armor, because now we're warping out. Load the save file that's at Cloud Ruler Temple. Reload the quick save that just got the armor. Now you'll be here.
Yes?
And now you just gotta talk to
Progress on
Martin about... Oh,
Mysterium's
that was a
arc
split, by
is
the way.
slow, I'm afraid.
Tell him you got the armor, give it to him, go through all of his dialogue, and now we've got to start the final battle at the final Oblivion Gate. So we need to do that by talking to the Empress at Castle Bruma, because the war is going to be outside of Castle Bruma. So come on in here and talk to her.
It's a greeting.
Let her know about the battle plans. Come down here. Leave and come back in just like we did with Bird.
I will call.
Talk to her. Let her know we need to get the battle begin right now. We don't care about more allies. We are all the allies that we need. Make sure you get that fast travel timing just before your skooma runs out so you don't have to use any more. And go to the Wild Eye Stables because our Oblivion Gate's going to be right about here. Hi, Dime. And you can either wait at the top of the hill or down here. Doesn't matter too much. When you're down here, you can wait about 2 hours. When you're at the top of the hill, you want to wait about 3. And then Martin shows up with his awesome sweet hat. And this is kind of like an auto-scroller. We have to wait a little bit.
Soldiers of Cyrodiil, the Empire.
So this is like the first big time in the run where you can take a small break.
Will we let the Daedra do to Bruma what they did to Kavar?
And this whole area, we just have to kill off a few waves of enemies. And most importantly, make sure Martin does not die.
Make our stand here.
And the easiest ways to kill the scamps is to have your skooma active and get them with one flash bolt and then a punch.
Of Kavar can destroy their great gates. We must kill whatever comes out of that gate. Soldiers of Cyrodiil, do you
You only need to use one skooma right in these areas to be strong enough to punch these guys and to move around. But I want to use as much skooma as I can, because later on, between the breaks of not being able to move because you're over-encumbered because you have too much skooma, hopefully if I use 5 skooma in this area every time I want to refill, I'll be at a small enough number of potions in my inventory so I can move around without having to use the skooma. It's just like a preference for myself. That's why I use 5 here. These guys are more dangerous than these guys because they're really weak. And you don't have to worry about them too much. But still, Martin's gotta not die. Oops, I used 6 on accident. This area is pretty basic. If he's too far away, you can get close to him and... Whoops. And you can push him. Oh. Make sure you have good health for this area too, coming out. Martin, I'd really prefer it if you would go over there.
Ruler of the Empire!
I'm gonna make a quick save here just in case Martin dies. Because he's getting pretty feisty. Okay, there's the final gate. We want to get in here real quick, and then Martin won't die. There we go. Martin can't die when we're in here. But I accidentally used 5 skooma right here. It doesn't matter too much. We're going to be jumping a lot in this area. Make sure you don't jump too much, because if your stamina bar... which is better if I pause. Your stamina bar, if it goes like below right this marker, I would say, around 45%, when you run out of skooma, then it'll drop drastically and you'll be at negative stamina. And when you're at negative stamina, you fall over. And that wastes a lot of time. You don't want to do that. Let's refill our skooma. By the way, we're just going around this lava right here. There's a little skooma jump you can do right here. It's not the best. It lets you fly up there, but it saves about 2 seconds, and it's the most inconsistent one. Okay, so now that we're in here, just follow this path that I'm taking. I want to have good health, just in case I take a fall damage somewhere. Auto attempt to lock. This is the last lock of the game. I've had pretty good luck with those. Do your skooma jump on the way up. If it's not working, keep trying because it matters for your dignity. I just like to get them, even if I keep wasting time. It's what's fastest, so I might as well get used to the fast stuff. There we go. We gotta kill this guy right here, and then they can all go on their day, doing whatever it is they do. Okay.
We won.
Talk to Martin right after. Leave. And now, make sure you heal up. Or, not heal up, skooma up. Quick save your game after talking to Martin. And now we're going to warp up to Cloud Ruler Temple again. So, load that Cloud Ruler Temple save, enter it, and pause at the same time. Load the quick save you just made. Oh, that was a split, by the way, that I missed again. Wait, like... I just like to wait 5 hours. And then he'll be over here. Tell him that you're ready for the portal. Wait 1 hour so he just walks a little bit faster. And then set up your skooma right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to enter Paradise. We just immediately turn around, try to break our fall with some rocks so we don't get fall damaged, and kill this guy right here. Get his bands of the Chosen so we can open up the red-hot fiery doors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're in this inventory to refill on skooma, that's when you want to, of course, refill on skooma. Get 4 from there. And then equip the bands of the Chosen, and then go back to the skooma.
Here, of all places.
If that enemy isn't right on the outside, he can be on the inside. About halfway through the cave. And it's not a big deal, you can just kill him when you're inside the cave. He would be right here normally, if he's not outside. And we're going to jump over some lava. Kill this guy. If you're new to the lava jumps, quick save before them so you don't die and have to reload an autosave at the beginning of this cave.
Behold the savage garden.
Keep your flashbolt out in case you need to wreck some fools.
For a higher destiny, to rule over.
You want to make sure you killed that enemy that I did kill. He's actually a friendly guy, but killing him opens up the gate, and it makes it so he doesn't stop and talk to you. But here he is, he respawns, Eldamil. And so you talk to him this time, and you need him to help you so you can leave. You can't leave without his help.
Well done, champion.
This
Your
lava
progress
jump is
is
easy, just hold down
swift and
W
sure.
and walk straight.
Perhaps you will reach me after all. You think I mock you? Not at all. In your coming, I hear the
And we're just leaving as
footsteps
fast as we can. You can do skooma jumps off these staircases here on the way to Cameron. They're basically free as long as you just jump, because there's a lot of slopes. Kill one of these guys so they don't talk to you as you walk past them.
of- I welcome you.
And make sure you get a flashbolt out when you enter this area so you can get the quick kill on him.
I tire of the self-styled.
It didn't work, but that's okay.
Only
Sometimes he buffs really early.
unworthy.
Go into his corpse, take the Amulet of Kings. Oh, those are some good ropes. Take the Amulet of Kings, exit, quick save, load the Cloud Ruler Temple save, warp inside the building, reload the quick save, and here you are.
You found a...
Talk to Martin. And now he's about to go get knighted because we thought that we saved the world. We're all done. We have beaten the game. So when you're outside, fast travel to the palace here. I can't fast travel enemies nearby. I guess there's like a thing I gotta do right there with quick saving and reloading. Excuse me. There's actually enemies nearby? This has got to be a bug. I'll go inside, I'll leave, quick save, reload. I'll try to fast travel again right now. I'm getting some enemies. What? Yeah, there's probably just like a wolf or something in the forest, to be honest. Which can happen every now and then. This is Oblivion. Hopefully I can fast travel now. No. I was hoping this whole tutorial can go fine with nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm gonna come back inside, hopefully de-aggro again. People are still there talking to me. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna try the trick again. Hopefully there won't be an enemy this time. Or I'm gonna reload the, yeah, I'm gonna... I can't do that again because there's... Huh. Is there like a console command I can use to de-aggro enemies? Because there's literally no enemy nearby, and I can't fast travel. Load warp to the city? Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm gonna make my quick save. And I guess this is what you can do in case there's enemies aggroing you and you can't go. So I made a quick save right there. I'm gonna load this warp. I'm gonna I'm gonna enter and warp at the same time, I guess. Oh, thank you so much. So kind of you. All right. No, every time you can go in that door, it can crash, just like it did earlier. Alright, so once again, make that quick save. If enemies... Well, maybe that was a bug, and maybe we can fix it just by leaving. No, enemies are still on our ass, and we can't wait. So... we are going to quick save. Load this one. Please don't... Awesome. Please don't crash the game. We are just going to reload the game again. This has like a 15% chance to crash the game. We're doing it live. I'm gonna do a different warp. Okay, because that one's gonna crash the game. Yeah, I could use the console command at this point, but I still want to show what's gonna happen. So pause your game. I mean, quick save if you're aggroed and you can't fast travel. You can try the Wayne and Priory save file, which is just fine. Reload the quick save. Leave the building. Ah, there we go. We did it. Okay, so if there's no enemies aggroed on you, just go straight to the palace after you talk to Martin. 5 skooma on the way to him.
Welcome.
And I guess if enemies are aggroed on you, you can use that warping trick through the previous save files, and you can get rid of any enemy aggro.
I've been expecting.
Okay, so make sure you stand around here when you're doing this.
On behalf of the Elder Council,
You can skip some of this dialogue coming up here. When this guy...
we should arrange.
Chancellor Okado, the city is under attack. Oblivion gates have opened and Daedra are inside the walls. The guard is overwhelmed.
Courage.
You can skip this dialogue by quick saving and then reloading.
No.
As
Okay. And this is the final stretch of the game. We're just going straight to the ending. And we're hopefully going to have Martin not die on the way there. And if Martin dies on the way there, that is seriously the worst thing that could happen, but it's only happened like twice ever. And I shouldn't have even talked about it. But this can happen. On the way to running at the end of the game, you get the Dragonfire's quest right here. Enter the building, and even though there's enemies right on the outside, you just wait an hour or two. 2 hours is best to wait, because he'll be right next to you. But since I had to restart the game, the wait timer went back to 1. If you just wait an hour, he'll be right here.
Come on!
Oh, whoops. And he'll talk to
I
you.
do what I must do.
And when
I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others.
when your camera is all the way zoomed out,
You've been a
that's when
good
you stop the
friend.
timer.
I should.
Right there. And that's the tutorial done live, unedited, uncut, the raw version, with mistakes included and how to work your way around them, of The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion without going out of bounds. And also without clipping through walls. Yeah. And it's a really bad time, by the way, so just... So that's about that. Really loud cutscene.
The amulet is shattered. Dagon is defeated.